And Are You Okay is a not safe for work podcast, so any young listeners are discouraged from continuing. However, we literally have no way to track that, so do whatever the hell you want and enjoy the show.
It's just not our area of expertise. No offense to anybody. We're extremely good at is talking about things, not necessarily reacting to them.
Yeah, you know, and like you said, no shots to anybody, but most people do trailer reaction videos. It's kind of like a low hanging fruit. Yeah, because you're like, y'all 1000% had watched it before you hit record. Your live reactions ain't really live. Like, let's be real.
Right. Right. And, you know, when people die in episodes of shows, like, I'm just dead behind my eyes when I'm upset. So that's just how it happens.
But we back.
We are back. I am joined by... you know, the Quinyon Mitchell to my Cooper DeJean.
Let's go. What a reference.
The deadliest secondary in the Star Wars podcasting space. You know, the cookie to my cream. Matthew Porter, a.k.a. Matty Ice.
Hey, Smack Talker, Skywalker, Broby1 Kenobi, Mace Windude, Jar Jar Cuban Links.
Oh, hell yeah. We love to see it. We love to hear it. You know, I am your other host, Mikey, the illest, the human holocron himself. We are
Darth Plagueis Wise himself.
Lots going on.
Darth Plagueis the Wise the Canceled is what we should change that nickname to, because, you know,
the Wise the Canceled.
Darth Plagueis the Canceled, because, you know, R.I.P. to the Acolyte.
Maybe it should be like Darth Plagueis the never leaving the cave. I'm never going to beat the accusations. I'm trapped in the cave. It's where I do the editing. It's where I do the recording. And my office is now the cave. So so there goes that. But you're listening to Annie.
It's a Plagueis party. A lot of baby oil.
Star Wars podcast, the Plagueis party. Due to weddings and my dog eating glass, we have gone on a hiatus that we never try to do. But what
always finds a way. What always finds a way, Mikey?
Life finds a way.
I love it. But I feel like you were about to big me up, so go ahead and do it.
Either way, there is just a lot been going on. But you, Matt, you know, you keep me honest, and I am going to big you up because you've been working very hard on our sister podcast, Dragon Ball for Life, which we will tell you all about in the socials at the end of the episode. But we got a new Skeleton Crew trailer, and could not contain my excitement. You know, we are working really hard, but we're also trying to, you know, rev this thing back up as we are quickly approaching 1 month away from the time we were recording this on November 3rd. You'll be listening on November 4th to the 2-episode premiere of Star Wars The Skeleton Crew, a super fun trailer.
And we covering that, bitches.
Yeah, we are covering it. If you haven't watched it, I don't know why you're not. Let's hyper dive right into this thing.
Hyper dive right in.
We're punching it, and there's no need for a spoiler warning because we have no idea what's going on, but we are going to talk about it. Just going to read a quick synopsis, Matt, and then we'll kind of dive into our initial reactions if that works for you.
Fresh off the 9 to 5, about to hit hyperdrive, punch it, Chewie.
Hell yeah, buddy. All right, the series created by Spider-Man Homecoming director John Watts and writer Christopher Ford, who also serve as the showrunners, follows along as Wim, Fern, KB, and Neel get lost in this wonderfully strange and dangerous galaxy that we all know and love. Luckily, Jod Nanawood, played by Jude Law, is here to help. He says, "I'll get you home." He tells them in the new trailer, we'll make a partnership. Of course, pirate ports, booby traps, hidden treasure, and massive tentacled aliens are just a few of the obstacles between the 4 young travelers and their goal. As Neel points out, they're lost. Really lost. Matt, how you feeling? What are you thinking?
I'm hyped, bro. So, way back when, I won't sell the cow to make people go back and listen to older episodes. So I won't say too much about things that we've said in previous episodes because I want everyone to go back and listen. and grow up our views or listens. But so much of Star Wars is and always has been about misplaced people trying to find a home, like running away from their circumstances to find a home. You know, your chosen family as opposed to your blood family is a big thing in Star Wars. This is about kids trying to find their way back home. It's totally flipping the trope on its head, and I'm here for it in every way possible. Like we say all the time, like Star Wars is a property where it's like, especially if you've been invested in it here for like such a long time, you know, like what the absolutes are in Star Wars. Like, you know, the things that are like lore rules that are in place, like the fourth wall rules that you know that Star Wars is never going to go outside of, i.e. jamming the controls to an electric door makes the shit go up. I don't know how.
We don't know why.
We don't know how and or why, but it does it. So like when Star Wars is able to break away from itself but still keep it within the lore, it's always such a refreshing, exciting thing to be a part of, and I'm here for it.
That is the number one word I would use for this trailer: refreshing. There are a lot of fans, we already know it's coming, that they're going to be like, this is not my Star Wars. Well, Star Wars is in desperate need for a shakeup, and I, for one, am kind of going to welcome the MCU-ish vibes coming from this trailer.
Disney's going to Disney.
Disney is sure going to Disney. There is something in this trailer that Star Wars has never done before, and whether it shows up in the show or it's just for the trailer, so be it. But we got a cover of a real-life song in Huttese, Major Tom by, I'm blanking, Peter Schilling. So it was awesome to hear it, to be honest, and it fit the trailer really well. There was just like, and also one of those things that, and Matt, you and I have definitely, you know, been around the block a while on a lot of these pop culture things. This is the first time I think a Star Wars trailer has ever been like, from the person who brought you this.
Yeah.
And like, typically that's they definitely. Like are just like, it's Star Wars, that's enough. But it's like, no, like,
or that you'll just get like the Lucasfilms sign, and that's how you know, like, oh shit, this is a Lucasfilms project. Like that's how you know.
Right. And no, but they're saying this time around, like, hey, the people who made Spider-Man Homecoming are responsible for this. The people who are tied to the Mandalorian are responsible for this. They're tooting their own horn. They're trying to drum up. This is for a more casual audience, which is fine. You and I will dive into our deep bag when we get shows like Ahsoka and, you know, if there's, you know, Tales of the Empire, which we have yet to cover here just due to scheduling purposes. But there are deep cuts that you and I are here for. There are other stories that are meant for a more general audience, and this has that written all over it. And I cannot state, there was one thing in the first trailer that I really didn't fuck with, and it was the whole, this just looks like a cul-de-sac in the Star Wars universe. It felt a little too real to me. This trailer had nothing quite like that, really. Everything else, like, in this trailer, from a footage standpoint, felt more Star Wars-y to me. I couldn't be more in on this now. I truly feel like this is going to be a fun adventure to tune into each weekend. It's going to lead us right into Christmas, so I'm super excited about that. A new present to unwrap each week as we dive into winter.
And we're really weirdly that you said that, because we've talked about this having Goonies vibes. It's definitely not a holiday movie, but I feel like the Goonies is when you typically, like, around the holidays is when you typically watch the Goonies with your family. Like Thanksgiving, Christmas is like, oh yeah, let's watch the Goonies. You know, little family night in front of the fire pit. You know, with s'mores.
You are so right about that. It just is like a little aside. I do think it's funny. For a while, me and my brother had this like weird tradition of, I think it was when Spike TV was still a thing. They would always put on Band of Brothers. So we were always like, let's just binge Band of Brothers. The exact opposite of what you just described. However, it is the time of year.
I get you. I get what you're saying now.
Happy-go-lucky things. Not necessarily a World War II series, but hey, man, I'll go for the happy-good-lucky, and I'll feel comfortable because we'll be in the wars that happen to be in the stars.
Oh, you fuck with the war?
There's just so many things. That's the first time I just fucked up a pillow talking.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. You can count it
here.
They're like, they are human.
Yeah, right. So this is like, I don't want to call it a character trailer, but I do feel like we got a little more insight into who we're dealing with here.
More personality for the kids.
Yeah, I'm going to run through the kids, and we're going to talk about them a little bit. What are your initial thoughts on Wim, who is looks to be the lead of the show?
Is that the boy or the girl? Oh, that's the boy. Gotcha. Yeah. Whose dad got mad at him, who like accosted him, like, you can't do these things. Yeah, I take. Oh, so hold on. It's in my. All right. Have you watched Forgotten Neverland?
No.
Or Promised Neverland? I always fuck the name up, but it's one of the two. All right, so I'll find a different reference. You watch My Hero. I know that. Yes. That I know. He reminds me of like a Ida type, like a straight-laced kid that's now been put into like a strain, like an adventurous situation. He reminded me of Joe off Digimon. Like, yes. Like the responsible one, like or the more responsible one. Like the hey guys, maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah, right.
That was kind of the vibes that I got from him. The older female lead seemed like the more adventurous one.
Yes, like
so
Fern is her
the
name.
Antagonizer. Like, come on.
Right. Like she's she asks what Wim is in there for, and it's like, obviously some sort of like office from like a school, maybe like a detention type thing. Like, clearly, Fern, it's not her first time around the block. She's a little bit of a rebel, a troublemaker,
Yeah.
And she also has like, her head on her shoulders really well. She's not afraid to stand up to the moment, it seems. So that should be a really interesting interaction. And while Wim has some of those qualities that you said, like, is like a little more straight-laced, not used to getting in trouble, it seems.
Yeah, like not big trouble. Like, little small things. Yeah. Where it's like he's the kid that like, in neighborhood trouble. But like no, not galaxy trouble. Oh shit.
Yeah. And I think it's like he has the adventurous spirit of we'll use another Digimon reference, of a tie that kind of is going to get him into trouble. But right. We'll have to see if he's destined for courage in this instance, to hit you with another reference there. And his best friend, Neel, definitely seems like the type of character who is like, I'm going to follow you, Wim, but I don't know if I'm ready for this. Maybe a little bit more skittish and squeamish. He is the Max Rebo alien looking type guy. Amazing character design. I know that, we talked about the trailer a little bit, but just the fact that he has to hold his ear up to the entrance to the ship was just like a fun thing with his floppy ears. Super adorable. I also, there's a moment in the trailer where Wim is really upset that Jod is giving Neel the sticks to the spaceship. And listen, I'm gonna pull Rogue One here. I'm gonna drop a name in this episode.
Please do.
Neel, take the wheel, baby. I'm here. Name of this episode: Neel's taking the wheel, man. He's flying that thing.
I'm here for it.
And then the last,
who's the Geordie LaForge girl?
Yeah, right. So her name's KB. She did not get a lot of time in the trailer, and I'm like interested. She has a really cool character design. There's other Star Wars characters who have had kind of like the blinder visor on. I'm not sure if that's going to be like a reference to that type of species, but I think that it might just be, maybe someone who's a little more book smart or technically inclined. That could be someone that helps them like maybe gain access to the ship or turn things on. Like she might have just an aptitude for that type of thing. And it really kind of like rounds out the crew. It looks like they all kind of have their quirks and funny,
You know what this show kind of reminds me of? Damn. I'm convincing myself more of it as I'm saying it. So like, I'm terrible with names. So I'll just go like main lead boy, main lead girl. You can just fill them in. Just how I'm hearing you talk and with that trailer and perceiving how I'm seeing the show kind of possibly form pre them running into Jude Law's character. This is basically Outlaw Star. Like main lead boy in this Gene Star one. Like I'm used to local level trouble, but like, oh shit, I gotta go out into space now. Like, that's a bit different. And mainly girl, that's Hot Ice Hilda. She's like, what you mean, baby? You wanted adventure. Now you got adventure. Like, what's that Shia LaBeouf meme from Transformers 2? Hey, no, nobody's making you stay here. This is what you want? This is what you wanted?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, so quit complaining or leave. Like, no one's making you stay.
Great callback.
Yeah, it's that, but it's like it's giving me that, and then you got like the the plucky side, the data analysis sidekick. This is like, hey, like I'm gonna follow you because you my man. That's Jim Hawkins. Like, all right, Gene, like this is a bad idea, but you my homie. I'm gonna follow you. It's our Lost Star. It's our Lost Star, bro. Just like Dragon Ball Daima is New Hope.
And you can catch those types of insights on Dragon Ball for Life.
A Dragon Ball for Life, a Dragon Ball podcast.
All right, so let's dive a little bit deeper into their relationship with their I'm going to call him quote unquote savior, because he seems to be the reason that they're going to be able to get home. Jod Nanawad. What a Star Wars name.
Yeah.
But he has been described, and people have been speculating that he is a Jedi. I am fully other way. I think he's like definitely a trickster type character who is pulling a Paja and using magnets to emulate the Force.
I will say something like, that I found interesting to kind of go along with what you're saying. With the first trailer, or maybe not the first trailer, but the one that came out before this, the last one that we had reviewed, we had kind of touched on that. Like, it seems like they're teeing up Jude Law to be like, we were talking about the ineffectiveness of Order 66 and how mad Jedi actually escaped. And we were saying like he could have been like, whose apprentice was he type time. But going along with what you're saying, that you think that it might be a red herring, I did find it extremely noticeable that they like distance his character from any type of Force activities in this trailer. Like, there was nothing about any type of Force activity-ness in this trailer at all. Like, and I wonder if that was like an intentional thing to maybe they feel like they shot they load too quickly. It was like, shit, we didn't really want him to know that he was the Jedi. Let's pull back a little bit. Or if like we want people to really think that he is the Jedi, so let's intentionally being like, don't look over here, he's not the Jedi, to like make people really think, I'm on to something, and he's really not a Jedi. Like I'm wondering where they're going with that.
It'll definitely be interesting. I think we'll be speculating, I'm sure, about that specific point as we go through the series. He just definitely seems like the type of character that he views these kids as a potential reward. I think, bringing them back is going to get him out of a sticky situation. He's leaning more Han Solo for me. I think he's got a heart of gold, but I also think
that sounds a lot like Hondo to me. That's the Hondo that sounds like to me. I'm just saying.
All right.
Had to learn his trickster ways from somewhere.
You know what? That's a good segue. So we see a gigantic skull in this trailer. Skeleton crew. There's a big skull. The skull has horns sticking out of the side of its face, like the Weequay race, which is Hondo's race. Matt, I'm going to need your official prediction.
Do we get a
yes
Hondo
or no,
sighting?
Are we getting Hondo Ohnaka in this show?
I'm saying yes.
I want you to be right. I'm saying no. And I'll tell you why. Because Star Wars hates me. No, just kidding.
Okay. No. Do you really have a no? Because I have a yes. If you really have a no, like why I think it's a yes.
There is something deep inside me that I'm like, this is perfect for them to do it, so they're just not going to.
So yes,
it's just the feeling I have.
That Disney's gonna Disney fear always lives inside my subconscious, but I feel like this could be a yes, particularly with the unfortunate demise of the Acolyte. Outside of Jude Law, this show doesn't have its typical like, I'm gonna watch it type thing. Like Mandalorian has that cult following. We gonna watch Mandalorian. Book of Boba Fett has Boba Fett. The people have been clamoring for the Fett Man for forever. So it's just like, Rise of the Empire, like all like there's like Star Wars, because they've built such a cachet with the audience. A lot of their shit promotes itself. Like there's like, oh, there are reasons that I die by or live and die by of why I'm gonna watch this, because it appeals to some part of my fan base. Matter of fact, I would go as far as to say a prime example: the existence of Grogu, the Mandalorian. Outside of being about the Mandalorian culture, which hardcore Star Wars fans are like, fuck yeah, been waiting for this. But casual Star Wars fans don't know what the fuck a Mandalorian is. So how do you pull them people in? Give us a Yoda. Everyone loves Yoda. Like Grogu's existence was literally a self-made advertisement. Like, we're going to give you a character that's actually going to win over the fan base of hardcore fans, but it's a reason for people who haven't watched Star Wars since the original trilogy, because why would they care? A reason to come back. This show, outside of Jude Law, doesn't have that thing. Like, it's just something different. It's just oh yeah, Jude Law's in here.
You don't think Neel is the Grogu of this series?
Not at all. I feel like, again, for the hardcores, because we've been, I'll say for the department of the hardcores who actually do embrace change within Star Wars culture, not the toxic side of the fan base that's like, if it's not these specific things, we don't want it. Like, not that, right. Not those people. But for the people who like really do accept all of it and like understand that other than the fact that it's a Star Wars thing, which we love and hold in high regards, it's also a bunch of people running a business. They're not always going to get this shit right. Like, that's business. That's the business side of it. This is the entertainment business, not everything. When you make a show that you want to appeal to everyone, there's always going to be a group of people that it wasn't made for. It's just not for me. Mm-hmm. In your attempt to appeal to everyone, you didn't get me. And that happens. Like, I mean, but Star Wars has such a crazy great track record that I feel like we've forgotten, or a lot of people get away from the fact that it is still an entertainment company that does have the very real possibility of whiffing on some shit. It happens. Mm-hmm. Like, it happens. So with that, at the end
of the day, they subjectively know that I subjectively will give this series a pass if Hondo shows up.
That is it. That's literally it.
Objectively, I might not like it very much, but subjectively,
you just landed the plane for me. This show doesn't have that one thing that could save it from crashing if people don't like it. Hondo would be that, baby. Hondo would be that.
I do love that weak way. I love him.
I'm just saying, man.
He's got a direct link to my funny bone, Matt.
Saying. Hondo's that man,
and we've seen him interact with kids before in the Youngling arc on the Clone Wars, and like, that shit was fun. It was
and my conspiracy theory tinfoil hat coming out. Johnny Depp's been very quiet recently, and he just launched the whole like art exhibit in New York that I'm very actively trying to go to, and it's called like Bunch of Stuff. It might not be called Bunch of Stuff or a lot of things. It's something, but as far, you know what, because I don't want to fuck this up, because Johnny Depp is my guy. Hold on, N-Y-D-E-P-P. Thank God his name is easy to spell, because I got it really quickly. Johnny Depp. But yeah, but it's in New York, and he just announced it. It's on Instagram and everything. He's been promoting it, and I'm just like, very interesting that this show is about to come out, and now he's doing like this really big public spectacle of a thing. Cross promotion, baby.
He's reemerging.
I'm just saying, he's been kind of keeping that low key. A bunch of stuff. I was right. Hey, shout out to my memory. It's called A Bunch of Stuff. Yeah.
Look at you. But at the same time, if they're like Johnny Depp, it seems like the one type of actor that could actually pull off Hondo if you're not going to use Jim Cummings' voice for it. Like, I feel like that's you just stumbled into a great argument. And if you don't have an exact answer, we can circle back to it towards the end of the episode. If it's not Johnny Depp, who most people kind of treat as like the perfect fan casting for Hondo, who would you? It's a two-part question. Yeah.
Who would you accept? Like, who's like, all right, I can live with that. And like, who would you actually want to do it if it wasn't Johnny Depp? Like, who's your choice person, and who would you be like, I'd be okay with that? And if it's the same person, that's fine.
I'm going to cheat your answer. I like how with Cad Bane, they kept the voice that people know as Cad Bane and Corey Burton. He reprised his role, but they put someone in the animatronic suit who fit Cad's body type. So I will take that for Hondo because I think Jim Cummings' performance of Hondo is very.
You don't feel like Hondo's iconic. Like bottom half of his face is too humanoid to like. Cad Bane's like a full aesthetic, so like you could put anybody in there and do the voice. But like I feel like Hondo looks very humanoid. That if you were to just have like a stand-in, it'd feel weird. Like it's just like I see
at the same time
too much peopleness.
I think dubbing is also like way easier than people think it is in like live action.
No, yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I feel like not enough would have. I feel like you wouldn't need as much makeup for the Hondo. So I feel like a lot of people would just be on. So I feel like you would create a very similar argument to when people were. When that report came out that I almost called him Oscar Isaacs. Blanking on his name. Jin Darn. Pedro Pascal. Yeah. When that report came out that he's like never under the suit and he basically only does voice work, which got disproven. But like that era when everybody was just like, what the fuck? You don't care about the fan base. I feel like if you were to like, because Hondo was such a humanoid looking face, if you were just to like not just get Jim Cummings to do it, people would be like, why would you just get his voice when you could just get him to do it?
Yeah, that's fair enough. I guess like, if I was going to put someone in it, like it has to be them and we're getting their voice, then I would probably go with Ross Marquand, who is kind of like an impression master, but like also so like he was Aaron in The Walking Dead, but he was also Red Skull in.
Oh yeah, in Endgame. Yeah. Oh, Infinity War. Yeah, he took over Red Skull. I remember that. Yeah,
I think he was also
took over. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, so he's very good. When
Thanos got the Soul Stone. Oh yeah, he was because Hawkeye. The delay's getting us. Hawkeye and Black Widow went in Endgame.
So I'll take that. That's my. I'll throw that out there into the universe.
I like that a lot, actually.
He's also battling cancer right now, so wishing all the best.
Is he really?
Smart Quan. Yes. So very unfortunate there, but hopefully he's doing all his treatments and getting through it. He's incredible talent. Loved him in The Walking Dead. Every time I hear his voice, he does tons of stuff for Marvel.
Yeah, I know he does live voice acting stuff.
He's also he's voiced Han Solo in a few things like since Disney acquisition as well. He does a crazy good Harrison Ford. So all for that man's success.
Prayers and blessings.
Yeah.
So outside of that, I like that a lot.
There are quite a few other shots from this. Let's talk about the parents for a second.
Yes,
it's an interesting dynamic. There's a companion article that came out with the trailer where apparently this planet that they come from, nobody knows about. So getting back home is not as easy as it might seem. I think because no one knows that. Yeah. But these, the parents obviously are more likely hyper aware to the fact that they reside on a planet that is hard to get back to. Right?
Yeah, so it's like the village.
Making it, definitely maybe more nerve-wracking for them. You could definitely kind of see like why they're going through what they're going through. The flip side of that, I hope I don't answer your question before you ask it. The flip side of that is like, not only like shit, how are the kids going to get back? But like, if they somehow do manage to get back, they just revealed our location to an outsider. Like that is not what I was about to ask. But you bring up an interesting story element that maybe sets the show up to be part of the bigger story. Maybe there's something there that like maybe there's something on the planet they come from that's very valuable to either the Empire or the New Republic or the Imperial Remnant. I guess is what we're really talking about. So that could factor into things for sure. I think it'd be
where at in the timeline is this show?
So if my
or have they not? Oh, okay. So it hasn't been officially said yet.
So we know it takes place in the Mando timeline.
Oh yeah, you're right. I remember that.
My theory about the Mando timeline, if you recall, is that everything in the Mando timeline is actually in release order, which would mean Mando 1, Mando 2, Book of Boba Fett, Mando 3, Ahsoka, and then Skeleton Crew.
Gotcha.
So we'll see if that's how it is. I know this was supposed to come out last December, and it got pushed back. I still think from a release order standpoint, it all would have been the same. So this pushback didn't actually affect things. We know for a fact that Vane from Mandalorian Season 3 is going to show up in the series at some point. There's a lot of pirates. Maybe he's finding a new pirate crew since his got blown up on Navarro. And we'll see how that plays into it, how big of a role Vane has. So I want to get to the pirates, but let's just talk just closing thoughts on the parents here. I do wonder, how much do you want to see of them? Do you think the stakes get higher the more they're present and like known, or do you think that maybe if we find out that there's something about the planet and why it's hidden is enough of the stakes?
That's kind of where I didn't know that this was a planet that no one knew where it was. So it's like
I didn't either until I read the article. So I think it adds a whole new element, right, to what the story
it changes a lot for me because I was just kind of more on more of the side of like, you know, they hit hyperdrive, end up somewhere. It's just a bunch of kids like, yeah, I don't know how to get back, which was enough realism in that I was like, oh yeah, I get it. That makes sense. Because, you know, versus of running away from home to trying to get back home. But like adding that element that is hidden then opens up that question of, okay, well, why is it hidden? I would even be very interested if it was a situation where like the whole show kind of plays out that, you know, they're on the up and up and they're like good law-abiding citizens. And then like by the end of it, we figure out the reason why it's hidden. It's like a hidden empirical town, like they're like a bunch of evil motherfuckers, like actually. Yo, like that'd be wild. That'd be nuts. Wild. Or if like under their town are like cloning pods that like Sidious had planted around or something like that, where they were doing experiments. Like if it was like the precursor to a place that we learned about later.
It's Exegol the whole time.
No. That's what I'm saying. No, some shit not like that ass, like some shit like that. If not Exegol, then like a sleeper pod place that, you know, our guy Sheev had clones tucked under the town, like, or something like that. Like, and we think that they're like, oh, good cul-de-sac living folk in the galaxy, but really it's like a empire colony. I think that'd be dope. But even if it's not that, and it's like a hidden, maybe it's part of the path. They keep interjecting the path into in the you know, the way as was carved out when Obi-Wan read about finding the way. All that stuff like keeps showing back up. So like maybe on some like Underground Railroad shit, to use not the best reference in the world, maybe this is like a checkpoint for like people in the galaxy who are like trying to like kind of
it's interesting.
Make a way.
I don't.
Oh shit! Maybe that's the end point. Maybe that's where they send the refugees.
That's where they send the refugees. That's a good call out. Like, would it be? I doubt it. I sincerely doubt it. It does not look like it is. But like, how would you feel if this was Tanalorr from?
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That would be nuts. That would be nuts
to like be what it is, right? So
that would be, or even if Tanalorr is more for like force sensitive people and like bigger end game characters escaping, and you know this just be like people who just like have defied the Empire, like strong political figures.
They hid them here as like an extra place for it's like
exactly.
Okay, we're gonna keep the force sensitive people safe on Tanalorr, but we need another refuge for
like political people who defied the Empire, you know, like powerful rebellion leaders and shit like that. Like secret place for y'all. Like that's
an interesting topic for sure. I do hope that we like learn a little more about that. Maybe it's more crucial to the story than we realize.
I feel like it is. I feel like Star Wars, they're so intelligent. Like they know that their fans be knowing shit, and they be like, hey, you know what? Because they didn't have to put out that information because you wouldn't have got that from the trailers.
Right.
So like, why put out that information? Oh yeah, this is a planet nobody knows about, and do not expect us to be like, why? Why is it not known about?
No, it raises some interesting questions for sure. Let's move on to the pirate crew. Quite a few shots of very interesting, unique characters. Reminded me a lot of the prison sequence from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Not necessarily that we're going to get that, but just the unique cast of characters. We have Jaleel White showing up, the pirate captain who's like the Wolfman from the Cantina. Super interesting. Just like great characters designs there. Pirates clearly after something. You know, the kids at some point, regardless of the fact that they're trying to get home, are also going to end up in the midst of some sort of journey for treasure, it seems. You know, like there's Jod is probably has.
They don't have any money. They got Old Republic coins and points.
Yeah, right. Which was another nice nod that they're like, where'd you get this from? And I wonder if they mean Old Republic as in just like the Galactic Republic that we know from the prequels, or like Old Republic from like.
I kind of took it as like prequel trilogy credits.
That's kind of how
like,
I got it.
That's how I took it. That's how I took it.
Which gives a lot of character to the ship that they're on, and potentially Smee, the droid played by Nick Frost. So, how did you feel about the shots of like the pirates? Any particular character designs stand out to you when watching the trailer, or did you just not spend as much time with that when you were watching? I know the trailers kind of like everything jumps out at you super quick, and there's
so a lot of the pirate parts, like which are like very darkly lit scenes, like in whatever this dark area is.
It's on like a space station. It looked like
but it gave me a lot of Rogue One vibes. Or like
I could definitely see that.
It gave me a lot of Rogue One vibes, which we have both gone on record and saying we actually and thoroughly enjoyed that movie. But it made it excited for me because it seems like this show's gonna have a tonal shift at some point in time, or like or it's gonna start off one way, maybe end another, or like just interject like different like thematic tones throughout, which I'm excited about. It looks fun, bro. Like
it does. It is fun.
Just
I think
looks
we're
really
gonna have
fun.
a good time with it. I think our episodes are going to be a lot more reacting to fun moments that happen.
Like, bro, remember this part?
As opposed to speculation, which isn't a bad thing. We have a lot of fun with that, and I just want to, I think that there's part of me that really something shifted in my viewing experience. And it wasn't Star Wars that did it, but actually Deadpool and Wolverine.
Great movie.
When I went to go see that, and I was smiling from ear to ear the whole time. And I was just like, you know what, man?
That was
some
a great
things
movie experience.
I just want to fucking have fun. This feels like hopefully that for us. We've had a lot of really deep storytelling in Star Wars lately. The Acolyte wasn't exactly happy-go-lucky, and the Bad Batch for sure wasn't. So I'm ready for more fun in my Star Wars, even if it's just a palate cleanse to get us ready for kind of like whatever's next. Because I do like Star Wars when it gets a little darker and it has some more gritty and serious tones to it. But there's absolutely room for this too, and I think it's also a great place for Lucasfilm and Disney to really put a stamp on their, this is Star Wars 2. There's a reason why, people come back to this. They like it. Like same way I feel about Solo. You don't need to have Jedi and everything. The galaxy is big enough to just have those stories involved. Right. But there's also an aspect of like, I want people to be leaving feeling like, yo, that was so fun. I had a great time. And when you're like thinking back on it, smiling because like the ride was so fun. And we have talked quite a bit about how the setup is like, and people even say they're like, oh, these movies, these shows, they feel like amusement park rides. Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah, I'm about to say I love roller coasters.
I'm a little shit, so I am scared of roller coasters, but I want to enjoy myself. I want to feel like the excitement of everything. Awesome. My dog is just
you know how you get past the fear of roller coasters. No, you know how you get past
scream profanity the whole time.
Yes, I mean that's the amateur hour, but yes, you can do that. The way that I made peace with roller coasters, because they are quite exhilarating, and you always got to sit in the front seat. It's the only seat that matters. It's the only seat that matters. But the way that I conquered my fear of roller coasters is, if I'm gonna die on this thing, it's shit gonna be quick. It's gonna be quick, and I'm not gonna suffer.
What if it stops upside down and you're dangling there, and then you eventually fall out? That's not quick.
I mean, the seats is locked in.
Well,
but in that moment, if I lose upper body strength and drop and fall out, as soon as I hit this ground, dead instantly. Like I'm done. I'm not about to suffer. I'm about to wake up dead. Like that's what's gonna happen.
Floating above your body.
I feel like, not to get into like a deep existential crisis, I feel like it's the suffering and pain that people really are scared of. Like, but if somebody
you
were
to burn alive, you want to burn bright.
Exactly. live fast, die young.
Make it fast.
But like if somebody like if it was written into law that when you die it's painless and it happens in a blink of an eye, nobody, or I won't say no one, but I would say a drastic amount of people wouldn't be afraid of death. Like they'd be like, oh, that's it. Like it's the unknown that's scary. It's because no one knows what's gonna happen, and there's nobody can report back. Like, that's what it is. But like if they just be like, oh yeah,
and the ones that do report back think they saw Jesus. In reality, it was just DMT.
Something like something like if an angel were to come down like tomorrow and just like say for a fact like, yo, there is an afterlife, you're good. Everyone will live so haphazardly. Like they were like, oh, like I die and then I'm back and it's like an actual in existence past this point. Like no one would be afraid because they know where they go afterwards and they know that that's forever. It's the fear of the unknown. And like when I'm on a roller coaster, I'm like, if this thing tries to take me out, I'm taken out. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm gone.
That's it. Make it quick.
Yeah, please, yes. Like make it quick, make it painless.
Well, Matt, any other closing thoughts on this trailer?
It's just about to be fun. It's going to be awesome, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Super excited.
I'm pumped.
Oh, and another thing that I do like about this, because like Disney always Disneying, I feel like this being part of the Mandoverse pretty much guarantees that at least one of these characters will show up somewhere along the line, whether it's like the Mando movie or Ahsoka season 2, like because you don't put all these things by themselves and then admit that it's a verse and not interconnect these shits.
Yeah, so I have a feeling that we're more likely to see them in Dave's movie that's down the line,
right?
But matter of how big of a part they play is definitely to be seen. We'll see as it goes. Maybe it's just Jod who ends up being maybe part of it. But
even that, like get it like. Being on the precipice of a moment where you like it's weird walking into a situation and being able to say like, oh hey, this is a character that I really like with, he's gonna show up later, and when he shows up I'm gonna be so excited. But I feel like this show kind of lends itself to that. Like it's doing what Daima's doing for Dragon Ball. Like they said straight up on Daima like, hey, a lot of the things that are gonna happen in the show we're gonna continue to use later on. That's why we're putting it post Majin Buu, pre Super. I feel like with this show, the same it's doing is like, hey, like we're gonna introduce you to some really fun shit, and we're gonna keep using these things. So hope you enjoy. It's like I will enjoy.
I will.
Enjoy your remaining years. Would you like me to buy you alcohol? That would be lovely. Oh wait, what'd he say? He said, don't do it, kid. I never had a choice.
Breaks it open.
You fucking killed her.
I love that movie.
Super bad. Only on Annie Are You Okay? A Star Wars podcast. Do you get
Star Wars podcast.
Super, I almost called it supernatural, super bad riffs post podcast closeout. Only here. That's why you should come here and stay here.
Come here, stay here. Listen to future and older episodes. You can also follow us on social
media. Come here and stick around. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, man.
See, man. And this is why the not safe for work disclaimer is on.
Or at the beginning, bro.
Anyways, as we like to say,
you
can follow us on social media, on Instagram and Twitter at the letters ANI Are You Okay Pod.
A Star Wars
and
podcast.
You can also check out our sister podcast, Dragon Ball for Life, which we've already mentioned several times. But that is where Matt and our good friend Travis break down all things anime, manga, Dragon Ball related, in addition to some other things. They're doing a Fans for Life segment where they're covering off on Knights of Abyss, which is created by a black creator for the
Quentin. Shout out to Quentin Dorsey.
Anime. Quentin Dorsey, killing it out there. It's a very interesting story so far. You can hear their breakdowns of it, on those episodes. You know what, Matt? I'm rambling here.
Florida Shogun Dragon Call out now. Cospalooza Part 3 tickets on sale right now, January 4th. Milk Boy, the one on Chestnut Street, not South Street. Be there or be an equal side shape, four-sided shape, aka a square, equilateral.
Square. And no excuses if your cosplay is too hot. It's in the winter time, so
big facts.
You'll be nice and comfy. So yeah, please join us out there for that. And why don't you close this bad boy out first, Matt, so we can go watch the birds.
I got you, good brother. Well, Animaniacs, it's like we always say here in a galaxy not so far away. It could be Jod, it could be Zod, it could be A-Rod, it could be iPod, it could be Oh My God, or it could be Ray. Life could be a beach, but as long as there's no sand, you guessed it, Anakin Hernandez, he gonna be okay.
Anakin Hernandez be okay. May the force be with you, man.
And with you. Later, nerds.
Deuces.